Okay, welcome to the time and pairs section. So this is a very, very cool thing because on this strategy, you can literally trade any pairs that you want to. Okay, you can trade any pairs that you want to. Stick to the majors, stick to the stuff that we all know, pound dollar, pound yen, euro USD, dollar yen, all of that stuff. You can trade all of those pairs, okay? The important thing to remember is the spread, okay? There's a few things that are going to make spread go up. Okay, number one is news. Number two is market changeover. Those are the two times that you really, really need to watch out for. So for news, we're going to go over to forexfactory.com. We're going to go to calendar. And then with this little tool, you can filter the news that you want to see. So we just want to see the high impact news, which is the red news. That's all we care about. We want to check this every single day. And if we are going to place a trade, say at, 8 o'clock in the morning or whatever, on a USD pair, okay, any pair that has USD in it, we want to be very careful, okay? We want to make sure that we're at stop loss, or we want to make sure that we're waiting to not place the trade until a few minutes after that news hits so that we can kind of see the market reeling from that news. Which way is it going? What is it doing? That sort of a stuff. We don't want to be like, oh, okay, 8 a.m. news, who cares? I'll get in the trade at 8 a.m. if it's a good setup. It may look like a good setup. It may be a good setup, but news can do crazy things. It can explode one way, and if you don't have a stop loss, you are going to be hurting. Okay, so as far as the sessions, okay, we've got New York, we've got Asia, we've got London. You can trade all of those. Here is what I want you to be careful of, though. This is really, really cool because you can actually trade Asian session. And I know that for a lot of people that are working and things like that, they can't really make it to maybe the early mornings of New York session or the super late nights of London session or vice versa, wherever you are, in your time frame. Asia is usually not an option because spreads can be really, really high, and there tends to be less movement in Asia and things like that. But I'll tell you what, I have executed trades with this strategy in Asia, and let me tell you, it works, and it works really well. As a matter of fact, I don't want you to think that Asia is the best session to trade, because there isn't the best session to trade. It's about your time frame and what you can make it to. But my best trades with this strategy have actually been in Asia, and I'm a New York session guy, okay? Sometimes London. So, that's pretty surprising. So, with this, we have to keep in mind market changeover, okay? That happens at 3 p.m. MST time, okay? You're going to need to figure out what that is in your time, okay? But I can tell you that 3 p.m. MST time, you do not want to be in the market, okay? You do not want to be executing trades even at 2 p.m. MST time, because that only gives you an hour to close up shop and lock things up. So ideally, you can trade New York, okay, which is 6 a.m. MST time, all the way until 2 p.m. MST time, okay? Then you've got an hour buffer between the end of New York and market changeover, which happens at 3 p.m. MST time. And that is when spreads are going to go crazy through the roof, okay? They're going to stop you out of trades. Everything is crazy, okay? Then you want to give it about 2 hours, sometimes an hour and a half to 2 hours is what it generally takes for the spread to cool off after market changeover. So that puts you at about 4:30, maybe 5 p.m. MST time. You can start looking for trades again, okay? Then you can trade that all the way, through, well, basically it depends on your time frame, but whether it's night or morning, but you can trade that all the way down into London session, which opens about 1 a.m. MST time. And then you can trade all the way up through there. So really what I'm telling you is that the only times that you need to be completely out of the market is between the hours of 2 p.m. MST time to about 5 p.m. MST time. Okay, those That 3 hour block there is a no-no. Okay. Other than that, you're good. Okay. As long as there's not news that is going to spike spread and things like that, you are good. Now, I will tell you, as far as pairs, okay, spread is going to be different depending on the pairs that you're trading. And I will tell you now, Euro USD is probably going to be your lowest pair for spread, okay? Pound USD is going to be a second really, really good one that's good on spread, okay? You can trade any of these major pairs, but you need to keep an eye on spread at all times, okay? You need to have an eye on spread. We're not getting in pairs when the spread is at like 4 or 5 pips, okay? We're looking for half a pip, okay? We're looking for a pip. We're looking for 1 point, maybe 1.5 pips, you know? If you have to, get in when it's around 2 pips. It depends on your broker. It depends on all of that stuff. It depends on if you're with a prop firm, all of that stuff. You're going to have to figure spreads out. But as a rule of thumb, try to get in when spreads are half a pip to 2.5 pips. Okay, that's kind of what we're looking at. 2.5 pips is definitely on the high end. But again, be generous with your stop loss. Okay, you don't need to have a super duper tight stop loss. Okay, you can afford to have, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It just depends on your stop loss placement. So when you're getting in, okay, let's say that you're getting in on this candle. Let's see, let's see. This would not be a valid entry, but we're just going to make it work. Okay, you've got 2 choices for your stop loss placement. You can either do it above the high of the candle that you're getting on, or you can do it above the high of the structure. Okay, the structure can be the key area, the structure can be the double top, the structure can be the candle before your entry candle. If you're looking at a doji, if you're looking at a momentum reversal, if it is an engulfing candle pattern and the previous candle is higher, it can be that area. Just give yourself room. By the way, this is on the 15-minute chart, so we need to be on the 1-minute chart looking at this. So let's see. So how about this one right here? Okay, candle can be above the candle, it can be above the structure. In this case, there's no key area right here, so whoop-de-doo, 14 pips. If that's what you need to do, do it, okay? Don't be greedy with the stop loss. Okay, so you've got your times when you should be trading. It is an open field day for you. That is one thing I love about this strategy. You can trade it all over the place. You can trade it on any pairs that you want to. Be mindful of the spread with news, and also be mindful of the spread on the pair, okay? The pairs that I like to trade are Euro USD, our Pound USD, and our Pound Yen. Okay, you can trade these other pairs. Yes, I have traded them as well. They're not the ones that I focus on, but all of them are completely fine, because what we're doing is we're taking a key area and we're pairing it with an entry pattern. That is the magic here, okay? The entry pattern with the 15-minute key area, that's the magic. So you've got a lot of freedom in this as far as what you can trade and when you can trade. So it should be able to work with pretty much anybody's schedule and anybody's timeline.